Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you the best way you can farm some malignant hearts in Diablo 4. Let's jump right into it and talk about the different types of hearts that are available to be farmed. So if we look here, there are several different types. Each has their own color represented in the gem slot. Now you can only slot the color that matches the slot in the jewelry, and of course they can only be placed in jewelry. Now to start off, as you can see, we have some blue ones. These are called brutal hearts. We have pink purple, both. Called devious hearts. Then we have orange called vicious hearts. Now there is one more kind, but think of these all in the same category as, your standard run-of-the-mill hearts. Then you have your big ones, the Wrathful hearts, and the Wrathful hearts are black and they can be imprinted into any color. Now what makes Wrathful so special? Well, they are much stronger than the other hearts, and you can only have one of them in your build. Now, the thing I'm going to be showing you today is how to get a guaranteed Wrathful heart pretty much every single minute, which means if you farm this for an hour, you'll get 60 of these. Now, these are incredibly powerful, incredibly rare, and super hard to get usually, but thankfully today, I have found a very fast and efficient way for us to farm them as well for you to farm them. But there are some prerequisites that you need to have. You have to have the cold hard truth. You have to be in this step of the quest line. Now the cold hard truth. Now this is the seasonal quest, and this is the very last quest in the seasonal quest. After you go over here and he moves his station, his workbench to the last time, northeast of Kiovashad, and you'll be going into the Undercroft with Cormond. And in this, you're going to be fighting the final boss, and the final boss has a guaranteed 100% drop rate of a Wrathful heart. Now, thankfully, to dungeon resetting, we can actually do this a lot and reset the dungeon over and over again. And that's what I'm going to be showing you. So this is where you have to be. Now, if you have a friend who has this, you're set, or if you have this yourself. Now, there are ways to get around it if you don't have this. The easiest way would be to start a new character and have your friend power level you up. Sadly, if you're a solo player who doesn't have anyone online to help you, and you've already completed this quest, it is going to take quite a bit to get back to it. This is the very last quest, so you have to be decently far into the game to be able to do it and have a decent level of power. So as we walk through this, I'm going to be showing you guys what to do, because in this, there's actually opportunities to earn all the different types of hearts, or you can skip them and just go for the Wrathfuls. Now, me personally, I'm going to skip them and go for the Wrathfuls, as I have god rolls of all of the other all of the other hearts. So all I need are Wrathfuls. Now, as we go through this, in this first part, there's actually no enemies. So you can just run in here and just run here. There's a chest right here. You don't have to grab it, but it's free gold. You can run through here. And once we go down this ladder, we'll actually get to where the enemies are. Now, me personally, I'm going to actually run through all of them because I don't need them to spawn any other colored hearts. All of the enemies in this first part will not drop anything except for the normal hearts, whether they are blue, pink, or orange. They'll drop nothing else but those. So I'm just going to run right past them. Don't really care about what's going on over here. Oh, I got CC'd. There we go. There's one ad in one alone that you'll care about, and it's going to be right here. Now, once my corpse switch comes back, so this is a devious. So this is the only ad that you really have to kill, because this bear that spawns out of this bubble that we killed a second ago can spawn a Wrathful heart. Actually, pretty common. Like, I would say out of 1 every 10 runs, you'll probably get it. So you skip to the entire end of the dungeon. The dungeon ends right here. It caps in right there. There's nothing else there. And you'll go into this room. Now, once you're in this room, you just need to do what the quest says. So come in here, advance the quest line until you have to kill all the bubbles. I'm just going to let my minions kill all the bubbles real quick. Then you light all 3 braziers. Get all these lit right here. And then we're going to actually go into the boss phase. Now just proceed as normal. Now we do have to be careful at some point because we don't want to progress the quest too far and lose our spot. So here we go. He's going to start the ritual chanting. The braziers are going to be lit. There's going to be some ads spawn in right here. Let our minions take care of this. That's a great thing about a minion build is you can basically be AFK. Now, this is a new minion build, if you're seeing this. I'm sure you've seen my minion guide. This is actually a little bit different than that. I'm testing out a new build, which you guys get a little sneak peek at, which I'm very excited to show. Here again, let my minions do some work, help them out a little bit. All right. Now, this boss is fairly easy to beat. She's going to spawn in. And then we're just going to DPS her down real quick. There we go. We one-shot her. Now, I'm sure if you didn't see what happened there, I just did about 5 million damage in a couple seconds. It is quite insane, this build. Then when the heart comes up, you're going to interact with it. And it is going to drop to the floor and drop you a guaranteed heart. And there we go. We have our heart, a good legendary chance, and it always drops an Invoker of Ashan, which you definitely want to be collecting. Now it drops some other stuff too. I'm not going to grab because I don't need it, but let's take a look at what we just got. So this is what we just got, Vershawn's Heart. Now each minion drains, so this is the minion drain Wrathful Heart. Now something to keep in mind, as long as you're doing this in World Tier 4, the hearts are always going to be either level 4 or 5. There's no way to actually make them a guaranteed level 5, and they will drop with a range of item power. As you can see, some of the other Wrathfuls I have in my inventory are varying power levels and varying levels. Now, obviously, you can farm this until you get a perfect 800 item level 5. That is what I'm currently doing. Now, at this point, after you've got your Wrathful Heart and there's nothing left to do, you are not going to talk to him again. After you kill the boss, do not talk to Cormund. Instead, you are going to leave the dungeon. And once you're outside of the dungeon, be careful because there are a lot of mobs directly outside of this dungeon. So if you're a little weaker into Tier 4, be careful. And then we're going to log out. We're going to log out and log back in. And now with the new timer, of course, we have 7 seconds. And now that we are logged back in, we are loading back in the dungeon, and you will see that this dungeon has been reset, and you can just run it over and over and over again. Now again, just to clarify, if you do need the other hearts beside Wrathfuls, make sure to kill all the elites that I skipped. They will drop very high level, 4 or 5 item level, very good hearts. Now, me personally, I already had God rolls for everything I needed, so I did not need anything from them. So I just skipped them to decrease the amount of time it takes me to clear this. Now, if you're doing this very fast and you have a strong build like I do, you can clear this in just under a minute, meaning that if you farm this for an hour, you'll have over 60 Wrathful Hearts, pretty much guaranteeing you to have the perfect roll that you want. Now, some to watch out for. This is what I would be looking for. The Wrathful Heart, critical strikes and all subsequent damage within 3.8 seconds is absorbed by your target and then erupts out into the surrounding enemies, and store damage is increased by 14% per second. Now this is incredibly strong. Now one thing to keep in mind when you're farming these is they will all have the same name. Now the other ones, they have individual names for what they are, and normal Wrathful Hearts do. But since this is technically the reward from the questline, they are all named the same thing, but don't worry, just because their names are the same doesn't mean they actually do the same thing. Every single Wrathful Heart can drop here, so you're not going to be limited to just a few, but they just have the same name. So you just have to read the description to see what it is, what name it actually should be. Now this technically is an exploit, but is a fairly safe one. It has been in the game for several days, and from what I've seen, Blizzard has no real reason to patch it or to fix it, as they would just break the quest. Dungeon resetting has been a thing since launch, so I'm not too worried about that. And all of the top streamers have been doing this, so you don't have to worry about your account getting in trouble. Now, this is a super effective and fast way to do this, and I would highly recommend all of you getting it, because the drop rates on these doing it normally is astronomically high and very hard to get. Without this, none of the top streamers that you see doing these crazy builds would have the hearts that they have. And overall, this is something that is needed in the game. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and good luck farming your Wrathful Hearts. You never know when they're going to patch something like this, so get in there and do it as fast as you can. And of course, you can do this in a group for faster and faster clear times. Again, someone in the group, just one person, has to have that quest marker saved, so keep that in mind. So with that, thank you everybody. I will see you guys in the next video, hopefully. With that, have a good day and peace out.